no, stand aside my cruise and know the guy. Need to dig my baby for the ride. Ooh, she's like a smooth stretch of highway. Ooh, like a cool summer breeze. If my motor's running right, or we might lose control tonight. Got to shake my love and squeeze. Look that brings me to my knees. Oh, let it roll tonight.
Live from South Boston, Virginia, presents coverage of the Ford Credit 300.
Good afternoon. I'm Glenn Jarrett, and we want to welcome you to this week's telecast of the NASCAR Busch Series event. And we're glad you're with us, and we're glad to be back in South Boston, Virginia. Now, it's a tradition with us that every time we show a short track race, David Green wins the pole. We didn't change it this week, folks. 5 poles this year, David. You've been awfully hot lately.
Well, we're awful happy. The Slim Jim cars run awful good. And I want to say hi to Bobby. Bobby, it's number 5. Maybe we can be in the Busch Clash in Daytona. But we're awful happy. But this is a long 300 laps here. And this Slim Jim car's been awful good. And we're just going to play it patient and take care of those great Goodyear tires.
Okay, good luck to you, David. And he's been strong for the last few weeks. Now let's go up top to Mike Joy and Buddy Baker.
Well, thanks, Glenn. Good afternoon, everyone. And David Green's right. The driver who wins the most Busch Series poles gets a spot in the Busch Clash. That's new this year. And so is the pavement on this racetrack, buddy. And the corners here are very different. The bottom groove's banked 6 degrees, the middle groove is 9, and the top groove is 12 degrees. But will they get up there in 12-degree land today?
Well, Mike, the great part of the movement that they made on this racetrack as far as improving it, they made it where you can run 2 abreast through the corners, keeping competition really at a high pitch. I think you're going to really enjoy this, folks.
And we may see some 3 abreast racing as well as just 2 wide today. I think the groove may be well up in the track, and you may see some passing being done down below the yellow line. That'll make it very different. David Green on the pole, that's not exactly news, but the outside pole sitter is a bit of a surprise. Here's Glenn.
Well, Mike, and a pleasant surprise it is. We saw Johnny Benson Jr. really run well last time we were on the air at Milwaukee. Johnny, you guys have really got things together here. Things going great right now.
Yeah, we do. You know, Staff America Chevrolet's running great. And matter of fact, it's the same car that we ran in Milwaukee. Didn't touch it.
Well, obviously it worked well there. What do you think about this new racetrack?
Oh, it's great. You know, it's a track that's real similar to a track up at home I ran. And we're looking for a good day today.
Well, we'll be keeping our eye on Johnny Benson as well as David Green. You folks stay tuned. We'll be right back with today's starting grid and all the action from the Ford Credit 300.
Today's exclusive coverage of the Ford Credit 300 on TNN is brought to you by Split Fire, the patented performance spark plug. It only costs more until you use it. And by Stanley. Since 1843, Stanley has been helping people do things right.
The newly refurbished South Boston Speedway, Mason Day and his folks, family-owned business, operate this in the Rougemont track, and they've done a great job in really sprucing up a speedway that, well, I remember Buddy Baker ran in 1962. First, Sears Diehard presents the starting grid for today's race. 6th career pole for David Green, 2nd in the points, and Johnny Benson, his best career finish, 3rd at Martinsville. Roy Payne, a strong 4th at Charlotte in May, and Kenny Wallace, who finished 2nd here in 1991. Row 3, Ricky Craven, the point leader with 2 victories, and Dirk Stevens, the highest qualified rookie in the field. Dave Resendiz ran 9th here in 91, and Johnny Smith, first start this year. Mike McLaughlin was 6th 2 weeks ago at Milwaukee. Larry Pearson had 3 straight wins here in the late 80s. Johnny Rumley with a pair of top 10 finishes this year. Tommy Houston, a 3-time winner here at South Boston. Jim Bound had a strong 5th at Bristol. Nathan Butke, the 19-year-old rookie from Randleman, subbing for Mike Wallace. Robbie Reiser, the rookie from Wisconsin, and Jason Keller, who has 2 poles this year. Hermie Sadler won the Rougemont race in April, and Tim Fedua, the sophomore driver from Michigan. Eddie Johnson makes his first Busch Series start, and Dennis Setzer, rookie of the race 7 times this year. Chad Little with 3 straight top 10s, and Tommy Ellis, who has 7 Busch Series victories here. Randy LaJoy, 2nd at Hickory in April, and Chad Chaffin, the rookie from Tennessee. Doug Hebron, the modified ace from New York, and Randy Porter with new colors on his car. He was third at Atlanta. Ed Faree makes his first start of the year, and Bobby Dotter with second-place finishes at New Hampshire and Watkins Glen. Elton Sawyer has 7 top 10s here. Rodney Combs has 3. And the provisional starters, Robert Presley, 5th in points, and Tracy Leslie, who was 3rd at Watkins Glen. Look at the big crowd here at South Boston, Virginia. We come back, we'll list you down the cars that did not make the race and get ready to go here at South Boston. Fired the engines and rolled the cars off the grid here at South Boston, Virginia. And Roy Payne stopping to either center the steering wheel or cinch up the belts. Now he gets going once again. Cars that did not qualify today: Franklin Butler, George Crenshaw, Pat Davison from Delaware, Michael Knight, Kevin LePage out of Vermont, Ashton Lewis from Virginia, Kurt Owens, Stevie Reeves out of Indiana, Mike Skinner did not make the cut for the 32-car field. 22 Chevys, 8 Fords, 1 Olds, 1 Pontiac. First time a Chevy sat on the pole here since Mike Alexander did it in April 1986. It is 87 degrees and muggy here at South Boston, Virginia. There was threat of rain this afternoon, but that seems to have gone away. A very light breeze. You're right along today with Randy LaJoy, the Fina Lube Lance Snacks, number 20, out of the Dick Moroso shops. In one lap, we'll go racing. There's the race cam, rear bumper cam, looking back at Doug Hebron, and the new colors on Randy Porter's Cincinnati Millicrown car, and the doggy out the window cam on the right side. Elton Sawyer, the Ford red carpet lease Thunderbird, sponsoring today's race, and also an in-car camera for Elton, who will start way back in 29 under the bumper cam on Elton's car, and the doggy out the window cam there. We're set to go racing for 300 laps. Busch Series action live on TNN, and we are under green. No hurry to get in single file order here. As Buddy said, they're going to race 2 wide all day here.
Look at Kenny Wallace make a move there going into second place. He's been one of the fastest cars in practice the whole week.
First lap leader is David Green. Kenny Wallace on the bottom for second. He gets it from Johnny Benson. 1 car up near the wall. That's Chad Chapin brushing it. We stay green. He's okay.
See, Tracy Leslie, he had to take a provisional. A lot of good race cars started way back in this field because it was probably the closest field the whole year.
Also, Buddy, qualifying started out hot, sunny, and muggy, and then got hot, overcast, and muggy. Kind of changed things up a bit. Now they're single file through the first 8 back to about Johnny Rumley, who runs side by side with Tommy Houston.
Kenny Wallace's car there. He's real fast from the center part of the corner of the straightaway. The David Green's car is just awesome. Just like at Hickory, he had a real dominant car, and he's really getting up off the corner well here.
And you'll see where the groove is on this racetrack. The tire marks have just about obliterated the white line that separated the bottom from the second groove. Here a little further back.
You know, Mike, it's wonderful to see race cars actually be able to race again. Most of the short tracks have gotten to the point where it's follow the leader, but not here. If you have a good race car, you can find the groove to get by people.
They just repaved this racetrack, the same asphalt mix as at Charlotte Motor Speedway's repaving. We'll have a bit more on that later on. Ooh, 3 wide, and they don't fit. Tim Fido on the inside grabs a spot from Nathan Butke the hard way.
Well, you see Butke there. He's the 3rd car in that group. They're 3 deep through that corner.
Now Dennis Setzer and Robbie Reiser, and number 17 to the inside, moving past Butke. Hermie Sadler to the outside. Number 25. Sadler now drops to the bottom in front of Reiser and under Butke.
That 05 car there, that's one of the favorites around here. Terrible Tommy.
Oh, he's not so terrible anymore.
Tommy Ellis is one of the best race car drivers in the country, and he's led over 900 laps at this Speedway.
Wow. That's 05, the Lasco Bathware Chevrolet. For Ellis, he started pretty deep in this field, but now he moves up to the outside of Robbie Reiser, the Appleton, Wisconsin rookie.
See Randy LaJoy there in the 20 car. He was leading the point standings earlier in the year, and has dropped all the way to 13th due to bad luck on the racetrack in the past 6 races.
Bad luck and a few exploding motors. In this series, if you don't finish the races, you cannot stay up in the points. Here's a look back at Riser from Randy LaJoie's car. David Green out in front. Last led at Milwaukee. He's led 6 of the last 11 races.
You know, when you have a car running as well as Green right now, these race cars are running fast, but they're back in the pack, and Green has an open racetrack to close in on them. You could get a lap down here running very well.
The pack is split in kind of 3 segments here. As you watch Dennis Setzer outside and Hermie Sadler move up underneath. The front pack consists of about the first half dozen cars. Then there's a break to about the next 12, and then the balance of the field. There's that second group, trailed by Sadler. There's David Green's lead over Kenny Wallace.
Looks like Johnny Benson Jr. has run Kenny Wallace down. He's sitting right on his back bumper. But that's pretty lot. Everybody in the whole field doing that. You see the number 6 car there. That is
new colors for Tommy Houston. Red Devil enamel paints, his new sponsor. And the Houston entry now sports a red paint job with a black and white number. Gives something for the model car builders to do. Back up front.
See Johnny Benson Jr. there. He's taking a lower line than Kenny. That usually means that the car is sticking really well from the center out. He's pulled up under Kenny Wallace and tried to make a pass coming off forward just now, but didn't have quite the muscle to do that.
Johnny Benson, ASA champion, now in Busch Series racing. It's Green, Wallace, and Benson, Roy Payne, Ricky Craven, and Dirk Stevens. Welcome back to South Boston, where we're under the first caution of the day. Tim Fedewa came out the loser in a 2-car skirmish down in turn number 3. Let's show you what happened.
Okay, we're going down in turn 1 here. You see Fedewa on the outside, Setzer underneath him. They almost get together there, but coming out of the corner, Dennis Setzer's hard in the gas, and the car breaks loose just as he starts out of the corner, knocking Fedewa into the outside of the wall there. Watch this, he climbs almost over Setzer's car, and around he goes. Fedewa got a lot of damage off the wall there on the right side of that car. They'll really have to work on that thing to get it back in the show.
There is Dennis Setzer's car, which doesn't appear on this side to be any worse for wear from the collision, but he may have had a little damage to the right side in that incident. And let's go to Glenn at the Tim Fedewa pit.
Well, Mike, Tim is unbuckling his belt, taking his helmet off. This thing looks terminal. The right side of the car is really caved in. He's got damage on the left front all the way down the car. I think the damage is just too bad for him to continue. Tim had completed almost 95% of the laps this year on the circuit, but boy, that statistic is going to take a beating today.
Well, he'll have a bit to talk about tomorrow night when he's Pat Patterson's guest on a race day here on TNN. And there's Tim. Cool down just a bit. Glenn?
Well, Tim Hanscroft in the car, and Tim, we saw some close racing between you and Dennis Setzer, a couple of bumps and shoves. What happened?
Well, I don't know. I mean, I hope the TV camera got it. I don't want to say nothing until I see it, but, you know, pretty stupid. And just, you know, what are we, 15 laps in the race and we're junk. But we'll get her back together and get some points. You know, it's just misfortunate. Luxair car was handling real well. Just impatience.
Well, you can tell he's really trying to hold back his true feelings.
Well, and also, Glenn, they're working on a full-season sponsor for that car. They've had Luxair on the car for, I think, 3 of the last 4 or 5 races now, and hoping to put together a full-season deal. Here is Setzer's car. You can see the damage to the right front after this happened.
Well, there's a lot of damage. I see the back. You can see the back housing under the back of the car there. It was turned around to the right a bunch.
Yeah, the damage on Fedewa's car on the right side was from the wall after the collision with Setzer. Roy Payne also had a flat tire, was limping around. Robert Presley and Randy Porter have made pit stops. There's that. Let's show you one more time here.
You see them coming out of the corner here. They get together right here. That knocks Fedewa into the outside wall. He really hits hard, and then he goes up over Setzer's car and spins right in front of Setzer. Setzer hits him in the left front corner there. Look at Hermie Sadler. You talk about a guy in a bad spot, but he made a good move to get around.
And there's the damage to the right side. That may be the most telling. It's really flattened up not just the sheet metal, but may have bent the right front corner and, as Buddy indicated, the right rear. Let's go back to Glenn.
Well, Mike, this caution was a big break for those cars at the rear of the field. They were in jeopardy of getting lapped, particularly Robert Presley. He came in during that caution and changed the right rear spring. Handlers way off on that car. We're back to Green.
Thanks, Glenn. The caution lasted 5 laps, and David Green again sprints out with the lead. He has led from the drop of the green flag. Tim Fedewa's car is being pushed back, apparently behind the wall, but the toolbox is going with it. They may try to get him back into this race. The restart single file, and Green is able to hold about a car length on Kenny Wallace.
You see Kenny Wallace there in second place. I understand he signed a 3-year contract with the people he's running for right now to continue racing for him. That's good news. Anytime you see teams stay together like that, they get stronger and stronger.
Trouble on Elton Sawyer in turn 4. His car had slipped to the back of the pack, and I believe he's cut down, yes, a right front tire. He will get lapped going on to pit road. Tough break for the Aiken-Sutton team. Was talking to his wife, Patty Moise, this morning about the jinx that seems to follow cars whose sponsor also sponsors the race. Glenn is there.
Well, Mike, it's a tough break for Elton early on. He's got a lot of people, of course, his sponsor, Ford Credit, is sponsoring this race. Got a lot of people here wanting to see him do well, but you run over something on a racetrack, cut a tire, not anything you can do except come in and change it.
Elton Sawyer is 1 lap down. 32 of 300 laps complete.
You know, Mike, that don't sound like much when you say you come in and have a real good pit stop, but when you're turning the racetrack in less than 16 seconds, it don't take long to get a couple of laps down, even with a good pit stop.
Buddy, now look, we've got a 5-car breakaway.
Yeah, I see Ricky Cravens moved up there to put a challenge on, and that's Dirk Stevens just in the back of the frame there.
Remember what a great run Stevens in that Grease Lightning car now had at Richmond. And got caught up in an accident, but he was going to have a top 5 finish there. Let's drift back a bit. There's 5th place Stevens, where Larry Pearson battles with Dave Resendiz. Resendiz had a great start here from 7th position. And they battle with Tommy Houston, Jim Bound, and Johnny Rumley, and Hermie Sadler.
Yeah, Hermie's car is running really well. He's able to pass on the outside. You see him going by Jim Bound on the outside. He seems to really get up off the corner strong. Pulled him almost a half a car length down the straightaway.
These cars are about 2 seconds behind the race leader.
See Johnny Rumley just ahead of his partner there. He has a car that looks exactly like him, and Johnny Smith, the number 4 car in the frame there.
Smith out-qualified his teammate.
Yeah, that always makes you feel a little funny, but Johnny Rumley's really a good race car driver, and this racetrack is for people that are really good on slick racetracks. And you know how he did at Hickory last year. He just took over and won the race there, so he's quite a competitor. See Hermie Sadler getting by him right at the moment, though.
Yeah, buddy, it looks like that bottom lane is not as fast as that upper groove.
Well, it's graduated. It gets steeper as you go up. Of course, it starts out, I don't know the configuration that you do.
Starts out at 6 degrees in the bottom lane. The second lane is banked 9 degrees, and the upper lanes are banked 12. We've got a modified track in Massachusetts at Agawam. It's very much the same thing there, and Reggie Ruggiero wins a lot of races there. In fact, he's running there tonight up in that top groove. Johnny Benson, the outside pole sitter, in trouble for right side tires.
You know, I don't know what's going on. You don't see them tearing these tires up like this. I don't know whether we might have some rocks or something on the surface or what's cutting these tires down.
Let's check with Glenn.
Well, buddy, I think you're exactly right. A few pebbles come off the surface of this racetrack. It's new. It's not unusual for it to drain up just a little bit. I think they're running over some of these pebbles as they get up a little high on the racetrack.
Folks, the carcass of a race tire is very, very thin, where you can run over rocks on the highway and all. You just can't do that with these tires. They're made so thin so they dissipate heat easily. They have a fairly thin tread surface, and they are prone to cuts from stones and things.
Yeah, they'll take on a tremendous amount of heat, but just any kind of sharp object, they'll usually go right through them.
Chad Chad Chaffin about to be overlapped by David Green. And Kenny Wallace right with him.
You know, I was just looking. Every car that has stopped under the green has had a cut tire.
Yep.
So it's going to be a problem. You have to stay in the groove. What they're saying right now is if you get out of the groove, you'll probably run over rocks and cut a tire down.
All right, now watch when they come into turn 1 at that second yellow line. That yellow line up there, the first dotted line. Oh, trouble, and David Green goes through Chad Chaffin. That'll bring out the caution. Second caution of the day. Chad Chaffin's spin. We'll come back and have a look at what happened and sort out the field. We'll be right back to South Boston after this. Excuse me. Welcome back to South Boston. I had a bite of bologna burger there. It's the, yes, it's the local track delicacy here at Rougemont and South Boston. Mason Day tracks. David Green was leading this race when he tried to overlap the number 16 of Chad Chaffin.
Well, Chad's down on the bottom. Green makes a move on the inside here. Chaffin comes down right here, hits him on the left rear corner, turns him right around. As he does that, Kenny Wallace takes over the lead.
Now look at Chaffin. He gets into Robert Presley a little here. Presley gets loose. They don't touch. Presley got a little loose. Chaffin tried to move down. There was nowhere to go. And Kenny Wallace goes by and gets the lead.
And Ricky Craven's moved into third now, so he's moving along quite well.
Let's go to David Green's pit.
Well, Mike, I'm curious to know if there are pebbles or rocks on the racetrack. Let's ask Charlie Smith. Charlie, has David said anything about the condition of the racetrack?
No, he said the racetrack's fine, Glenn. He said after a restart, it takes a few laps for the tires to come in, but it's probably just the tires, not really anything wrong with the racetrack.
Well, the leader is not having too much problems once he moved Chad Chaffin out of the way.
Well, you saw there up in, and perhaps we can see that again at turn number 2, just what the race surface here at South Boston looks like. There you see where the tires are wearing. I don't think those are stones. I think that's chunks of tire because they've practiced 2 divisions of race cars here today and qualified them. Here's a look at your top 10 as they are right now at 51 laps completed. Well, we've seen the 2-wide racing we hoped we would, buddy.
Oh, yeah. This racetrack is wonderful to watch the race on. And anytime you can get on a racetrack where you can run 2 abreast, 3 abreast through the corner, it's a lot of fun. But there is some reason we're cutting tires. I don't know what it is. Maybe the place on the racetrack might have a sharp edge or something. But something to cut these tires down.
So we're under caution, and we'll be right back to South Boston, Virginia, live on TNN with Busch Series Racing after this.
Today's exclusive coverage of the Ford Credit 300 on TNN is brought to you by Napa. We keep America running.
Today's copyrighted telecast of the Ford Credit 300 is authorized under broadcast rights granted by South Boston Speedway. It's intended for the private use of our audience. Any retransmission or reuse of the pictures and accounts or descriptions of this event without the express written consent of the Nashville Network is prohibited. We are 54 laps into this race, and we'll be off to the world's fastest speedway, Talladega, Alabama, for the Fram Filters 500K. That is next Saturday, 2 p.m. Eastern Time. Hope you'll be with us for that one. And I guess they're going to honor former Talladega winners that weekend.
Boy, oh boy, I look forward to next weekend. I don't know of any racetrack that I feel more at home than I do at Talladega. I'm real happy, and these people are really going to see a race there. You know, that's certainly not follow leader down there.
No, anything but. Anything but. Kenny Wallace leads this race as a result of David Green's skirmish with Chad Chaffin. Green is second, 1 lap when we'll go green flag. Ricky Craven is third, Dirk Stevens is fourth, Mike McLaughlin is up to fifth in the fiddle faddle car. There he is. Sixth is Larry Pearson. Seventh is Johnny Smith. Eighth is Dave Rezendi. Ninth would be Hermie Sadler, and 10th Tommy Houston. 11th Johnny Rumley, 12th Dennis Setzer, 13th is Jim Bound, 14th Jason Keller, 15th Nathan Butke, 16th is Randy LaJoy, 17th Tommy Ellis. Also on the lead lap are going to be Robbie Reiser, Bobby Dotter. and 6 other cars as we go back to green.
You can see a bunch of rubber bouncing off the bottom of these cars. You pick up a lot of the tires that when you run around here slow, it pulls the rubber and stuff off the tire and puts it on the racing surface when they start back. It's really, really slick.
Big 2-wide battle is Mike McLaughlin underneath Roy Payne. And Larry Pearson's there as well. McLaughlin moves up, now Pearson clears Payne. And Johnny Smith comes up, Hermie Sadler and Dave Resendiz going at it. That's for position right there. Look at him jostle. Tommy Houston a part of that. Dennis Setzer, all veteran short trackers. They know what a little bump and thump is like.
Well, I tell you what, it don't get no better than this. I love Busch Grand National Racing for this reason. They don't mind putting it all on the table and going for it.
Or all on the fender, whichever it is.
More like that. You see Dennis Setzer there on the outside. You really have to be careful on that outside that the inside car don't sweep you right out into the wall, as you've seen earlier in this broadcast.
All right, Dave Resendiz underneath. Johnny Smith clears him. Smith way up in the marbles, and he's going to keep it off the wall, but not by much. Johnny Smith finally gathers it back up, and now he gets his tires cleaned off. He can get running again.
He lost about 15 to 20 positions in that one little move getting on the outside there.
That third groove is not working just yet.
Well, you need Harry Gann here. Now, he'd be up there, and he'd have that groove all cleaned off for everybody that wanted to use it.
Buddy, when you need to widen up the racetrack and make yourself a new groove, how do you make that happen?
Very carefully, and you just move up like an inch or two each lap until you clean the surface that you need. You don't just jump up there and use that outside area, but you have to clean it first.
Ed Ferree makes a stop on the back pits as Randy LaJoie gets together with Tommy Ellis.
Whoa!
Around goes LaJoie. He backs it into the wall.
He's got her fired up and going again. The yellow is out.
Third caution today. Comes out at lap 66. There's Kenny Wallace. We asked Kenny. We asked Kenny Wallace what it's going to take to have a successful run here today.
You know, these 300-lap Busch Grand National races now, it's the deal where you can't, you know, beat the heck out of your race car and tear the tires off of it. You got to have a car that, you know, handles really well, but yet when it comes time to go, you got to be able to get through traffic without, you know, knocking your toe in out and, you know, ruining your car before you get there.
Wallace is the leader under caution here.
Have Johnny Benson Jr. coming in pit road here. Looks like maybe they might have to put a little bite in this car. They're fueling it up right now.
Let's show you what happened to Randy LaJoie in the back straightaway. That's Tommy Ellis and Jason Keller just ahead.
You see Tommy there. He's on the outside. They make a little bit of contact there. Randy gets into the 07 car just a little bit there. Jason Keller, rather. And I tell you who was lucky there. Nathan Bupke in the 9 car. He was sitting there, and there was a good chance of getting collected into this wreck.
I think Ellis was kind of a spectator in this one. The big collision seemed to be between LaJoie and Keller right there. There's another different angle on it.
I don't think this is going to change much. You see the 20 car just maybe get into the left front a little bit of the 05 with Tommy Ellis and then into the other car in front of him.
Ellis kept coming to try to clear the accident. LaJoie ended up around and in the fence. Well, looks like little damage done. Robert Presley back on pit road another time. Here's Glenn and Robert Presley pit.
Well, Mike, last time by, he stopped and they changed the right front spring. So far, they changed the right rear. Well, excuse me, they didn't change the spring. They put a rubber in it. He's in real jeopardy of going a lap down right now. He came by me a while ago, though, and he waved at me like, well, I'm having a good time, but I can't believe he is. The car is not working at all for him.
Just one of those days. New look for Randy Porter's car. the folks that said watching that car on TV, it looked a little too much like Tim Fedewa's and maybe Elton Sawyer's and a couple of other cars. So the Cincinnati Millicron car now in blue and white with day-glow orange numbers. They make CNC manufacturing machines for computer-controlled machining. Randy told me he took a tour of their plant, and he said one of those machines was about the size of a medium-sized house, if not bigger.
You know, I just thought that's what it was. If I'd have been guessing, I would have said computers, no doubt.
And next time I'll wait on you. They're not waiting on us. They're going green. 64 laps. Quick caution. And we're back to green with Kenny Wallace. Elton Sawyer is 2 laps down after his pit stop under green. He's right behind the race leader, then David Green. Here's Mike McLaughlin battling. Kurt Stevens on the inside at number 15.
Mike is really driving a great race there in the 34 car, the middle paddle car. He's staying right on the bottom of the racetrack. He seems to be handling quite well, and he moved himself in contention right here. It'd be nice to see him get a win pretty soon.
Well, it'd be a nice save for their weekend. Phil Parsons had Team 34's Winston Cup car up at Pocono, but failed to make the cut for tomorrow's race. So they're hoping for a good one tonight. Mike McLaughlin was scheduled to drive Pocono. He said, you know, I need a little more experience before I get up there. I'm not quite worked up to that. They put Phil Parsons in the car. That takes a lot to step out.
You see Johnny Benson Jr. get up under Roy Payne there. They're rubbing just a little bit there. Good, tight, short track racing. I don't think either one of them are mad or anything, but they have hit 2 or 3 times now.
It's like I'm not mad, but I'm fixing to be. Benson clears Payne. Hermie Sadler's the next car back. Well, that was hello and thank you.
Yeah, we need to talk about Hermie Sadler just behind them. I think they're going to take care of themselves if they keep doing that.
Yeah, that's why Hermie wants to get out of town here.
See Larry Pearson sitting there. Boy, when you see that taking place in front of you, you say, man, let's get this sorted out and get back to racing.
Roy Payne in 27, the Motorsports Design Chevy. Qualified well up front. Here's another look at what happened.
Well, Roy comes in there, and it looks like Benson's car just slowed up a little bit, and he got in the back of him. Hermie Sadler almost made a 3-car wreck.
Elton Sawyer's going to try to get one of his 2 laps back. From Kenny Wallace, he is on fresher right side tires after that change under green.
Well, Mike, on a racetrack this size, one thing you never do is give up. You can make up a lap, and the yellow come out and make up another lap, you're right back in the race.
And plenty of time to do it, just 78 laps down here. Let's go back to Hermie Sadler as he chases down Johnny Benson. Now, Benson is not on the lead lap. The outside pole sitter had to make a green flag pit stop for right side tire.
That car of Hermie Sadler's looks like a slot car going around here. It's really handling nicely. You can see Johnny Benson on the bottom there. Anytime you can gain ground on the outside, you have to have a very fast race car.
Sadler moves up. Make that 6th place for Hermie Sadler. Now Larry Pearson slides under Roy Payne. Pearson in the Stanley Tools, number 92. And they're running down Mike McLaughlin, the 5th place car.
Talk about Larry Pearson. You have to give him a call. He has all the patience. He knows how to win. He's been a champion in this division. He knows what he's doing out there. Don't ever count him out anytime he's up front.
May 1987, Pearson lost a heartbreaker here. Led 187 consecutive laps, and Tommy Ellis beat him in a side-by-side last lap shootout. But then Pearson went on to win 3 straight Busch races here.
Now, Mike, you noticed that Larry's using a little bit higher groove. He's using the 2nd lane around most of the racetrack here. And the car seems to really be hooking up down the straightaway. It's got good speed.
I think that's going to be the groove here for most of the race at South Boston, Virginia. Rodney Combs brings the French's Mustard car to the pits. We stay under green. Things are shuffling around here in the Ford Credit 300 at South Boston. Elton Sawyer nearly got one of his 2 laps back from Kenny Wallace, but the big battle has been back around 4th and 5th place. Ooh, Mike McLaughlin just got turned sideways by Larry Pearson. There they are in turn 2. They're going to get together again. And right behind them lurking is Hermie Sadler. Lap car on the high side, that's Randy Porter. This may give Pearson an advantage. how they're running. Napa, we keep America running. Brings you this field standing update.
Ooh, look at Hermie Sadler go up through the crowd there. That car is just a rocket ship right now. He went by McLaughlin like he was stopped, and he's right up on the back of Pearson, fixing to make a move for another spot.
Well, he kind of used McLaughlin as a bank shot there in turn 2. Stay squared up. Roy Payne moving up, and Elton Sawyer's making another pit stop for right side tires. This may put Sawyer, yeah, will, 3 laps down. As you ride along with in the Aiken-Sutton Ford Credit Ford.
We need to get Glenn maybe later on to check to find out why they're having so much trouble on 38 car. The rest of the cars don't seem to be cutting tires down. Might be rubbing a tie rod or something.
Heavy traffic. 3 wide. There they go. And Tommy Hughes. Oh, Dennis Setzer had to get out of it right there. Almost had no room at all. Well, up at Elton Sawyer's pit, several of the top crew chiefs came up there to have a look at the tires that came off that car and see if indeed there was a wear problem that caused Sawyer to come in another time. Dave Resendiz in the Lipton T Ford.
Ooh, that's a little close there, too.
Yep. No marks.
That's a wonderful part of short track racing. You talk about reflexes, these guys have to be right on it all the time. There's no time to relax. You have to drive from the time the green flag falls to the checker comes out.
You're riding with Elton Sawyer as he moves up on one of the juice cars. That would be Johnny Rumley. There are 2 identically painted White House apple juice cars. One's 4 and one's 41. Robert Presley back in the pits. And again, he's made multiple stops for right side tires. And Randy Porter is in for rights as well. Now these are 2 of the Hoosier shod cars coming in for tires. Here's Glenn.
Well, Mike, Robert Presley is getting right side
Caution,
tires.
Glenn.
Caution comes out right now.
Hermie Sadler stands over in turn 2.
Hermie Sadler has spun at turn number 2. And also involved is the 73 Eddie Johnson in the Mrs. Fairnose Stew Oldsmobile. It is stewed.
Easy enough for you to say. I imagine he wants to get out of the groove there and get back into action.
Turn down the heat a little. I'm sorry, we were with Glenn a moment ago as we went to caution there. He'd been looking at Elton Sawyer's tires. So Robert Presley pulls out of the pits. Glenn?
Well, Mike, I'm going to try to get a word with one of the Goodyear officials here. The inside of Elton Sawyer's right front tire was all wavy and bumpy. They said that the tire went down. It didn't appear to be cut completely down. It had just lost air. Other than that, there was no sign of any wear or anything, but I think that's just from the tire being low on air and his running is so hard trying to get that lap back. I started to say about Robert Presley, you said he kept pitting for tires. Well, the first 2 times he pitted for right side springs. But that time he was for right side tires. When the caution came out, he went ahead and put on the 2 left sides. Those will not be charged against him. By the way, the tire rule for today is 1 tire per position under caution. So thus far, Robert Presley's changes have all come under green.
Thanks, Glenn. Tommy Houston is getting that set of tires right now. Tracy Leslie getting a chassis adjustment. Bobby Dotter getting left side tires under this caution flag. We'll be right back. Welcome back to South Boston, Virginia. 108 laps down. Mike Joy with Buddy Baker, who is now Bologna Burger bound, and Glenn Jarrett on pit road. They had the hood up on Randy LaJoy. Back to that in a minute. But here you see the spin. It's a harmless one for Eddie Johnson running his first Busch Series race. And then Elton Sawyer spun in turn 2. The multiple spins brought out this caution flag here at South Boston. 1 to go, and we'll go racing here. Here's Glenn.
Well, Mike, Elton Sawyer came back in that time. You see the ripples on this tire. That was the tire that came off the car a while ago, one of the tires that went down. They're running the air pressure too low in the tire. That kills the sidewall on the tire. They came in that time to take this tire off, another right side tire as well, both right side tires. Put new ones on, went back out. Goodyear told them to bring the car back in and bump the air pressure back up on the tire, and that would eliminate that problem. So these guys are trying to get a little more speed. Sometimes we reduce that air pressure, makes the car turn a little better. Ain't working here today. It's killing the sidewalls on the tires.
Thanks, Glenn. That is the 4th caution flag of the day. And we'll go back to green this time. Lead lap cars. Kenny Wallace, David Green, Ricky Craven, Dirk Stevens, Larry Pearson, Mike McLaughlin, Johnny Rumley, Roy Payne, Resendes, Jim Bound, Dennis Setzer, Jason Keller, Nathan Bunkey, and there are 4 others. Back under green.
Kenny Wallace got a great jump there when the green come out. But look at David Green. He's pulling right up on the back of him. You see Rodney Combs underneath there trying to get back up.
Let's correct that list. Not on the lead lap. The 27 of Roy Payne, and add to that list of Jason Keller, Nathan Bunkey, Hermie Sadler, the 23 of Chad Little, Bobby Dotter, Tommy Houston, and Tracy Leslie are all on the lead lap. These cars are not. They made pit stops under the caution or under green as they chase David Green, the second place car. That's 43. Rodney Combs, 74. Johnny Benson.
That's Ricky Craven there, the 4th car in that shot there. He is currently running 3rd.
And has he driven a conservative race?
Very conservative, like a man that wants to win the national championship. Ooh, Robbie Rouser was way up high in turn 4 there. He got her back going again.
No harm done. And way up high goes Benson. Combs trying to get underneath him. Now Rodney Combs is 2 laps down. Trouble in the backstretch. One car has spun. It is Dennis Setzer. And he's knocked in the right front.
That back straightaway has been a little cruel to him today. He got into Ed Peterwar earlier, and now he's got the right front back against the tire there.
Excuse me, the right front was knocked in from the Fedowa collision. I don't believe he hit the wall on this one, buddy. But it's caution flag number 5. And it's 116 laps complete. We'll be back to sort this out here at South Boston, Virginia. You're watching Busch Series Racing live on the Nashville Network. We're back under green, and Larry Pearson got turned around at turn 4, and we have a caution. As a result of the restart, caution is back out. They ran 1 lap and back about 6th position. Where Larry Pearson was, somebody got in the back of him, and now there's debris at turn 2 that has brought out this caution. A piece of sheet metal that came off of Robbie Reiser's car. I didn't see who got into the back of Larry Pearson, but somebody did. The pace was very, very slow as they came up to turn 4.
Yeah, Johnny Benson almost got his lap back there. He really tried everything he could to get by Wallace, but he didn't quite make it, and they're going to move him back now. It shows him in front, but he didn't beat him back to the flag.
Oh,
this is Dennis Setzer's car here. You see the whole right side of that car eat up there.
Let's show you what happened earlier. There's Setzer spinning. No, he did not get the wall that time, I don't think. Well, now we'll see.
Looks like I couldn't make out the car there that got into the back of him and turned him coming off the corner there. I'm kind of glad I couldn't.
Setzer continues, and we'll go racing in 1 lap from this 6th caution flag. The green was only out for 1 lap. Larry Pearson was running 5th. He's now back to about 8th after getting turned on that restart. Didn't spin the car all the way around, but had to gather it back up, and of course completely lost momentum. So it's Wallace, Green, Craven, then Dirk Stevens, Johnny Rumley, Mike McLaughlin, Tommy Ellis is up there, Larry Pearson, Dave Resendes, Jim Bound, Hermie Sadler, Chad Little, Nathan Bunkey, Jason Keller, and Tommy Houston.
See David Green there. He's trying to get up under Kenny Wallace there through the corner. And just behind him is Benson, who's fighting very hard trying to get one of his laps back here.
Yeah, Johnny is only 1 lap down. As are Randy LaJoy and the 99 of Robert Presley, along with Chad Chaffin. Rodney Combs is 2 laps down, along with Eddie Johnson. Johnny Smith and Elton Sawyer 3 laps down with Roy Payne.
Well, I say one thing. If Benson gets his lap back, he's much in the fight here. I think he may have the fastest car on the Speedway right at the moment.
The Staff America Chevrolet underneath David Green. Still has to get by Kenny Wallace to get back on the lead lap. And under caution, Wallace and Benson bumped just a little.
Well, that's smart on David Green's part. He's got a good second going along there. Benson, all he can do is get back in the lead lap, and I wouldn't put up a whole bunch of fight there if he got up under me. I think I'd probably let him go, because he's got to come all the way around the racetrack just to get back to you.
Benson drops it in turn 3 and gains a couple of feet on Kenny Wallace. He's coming hard in that low groove.
Well, Benson's able to hang to the bottom of the racetrack and gets a little bit better bite up off the corner. You see Kenny Wallace's car out wide there, but Kenny's running a very conservative race. He's taking care of his tires right now.
And so is Ricky Craven. To get his lap back. Watch Tommy Ellis, left side of your screen in 05, get under Mike McLaughlin, trying to muscle his way up onto the leaderboard. McLaughlin gives him enough room on the bottom. Back in turn 1. And Tommy Ellis will move up. I believe that's 5th place.
Tommy Ellis is something to watch in practice. I listened to him pick up the throttle in the corner, and it sounds like, I mean, it's just so smooth. You can't believe how nice he is on the throttle coming up through out of the corner.
That will move Ellis up to 6th place behind Dirk Stevens in 5th. Around goes Roy Payne in the backstretch. And to the inside, Bobby Dotter in the DeWalt Tools 08, and caution is out for the 7th time today.
Johnny Benson.
Did Benson get his lap back?
I don't think he made it.
Pit road is closed. So we're report from scoring, Benson did not get his lap back. Well, tell me about the first race you ran here.
I was reading that this morning. In 1962, I run 5th here and made $85.
For 5th?
Yeah.
Good God. Of course, $85 would buy something then.
Yeah.
Not a lot more than it buys. Yeah, not a lot more than it buys now.
Let's look at Benson here. He's trying to get his lap back. Coming up out of turn 4 here. Wallace gives him plenty of racing room, but Kenny Wallace has a good run back to the flag here.
Yeah, not even close. Glenn?
Hey, buddy. I want to know, how much of that $85 did the driver get?
Glenn, you know, you've been there before. There wasn't a whole lot for the drivers back then, but I didn't deserve a lot. I was learning, so $85 was a lot of money then.
Probably had to pay like $185 just to drive the car, didn't you?
You got it.
All right, Ricky Craven, Hermie Sadler, Chad Little, and Dennis Setzer will make pit stops under this caution flag. Glenn is in the Ricky Craven pit.
Well, Mike, most of the teams were trying to wait as long as they could before they used that free tire change on the right side tires, but Craven has gone ahead and come in. I asked Kenny Wallace's crew chief what he was going to do. He said they were going to wait till at least halfway. Craven is taking advantage of this now to change all 4 tires. As slow as the pace is around here, under caution, they can do that with ease. So that's his free tire change. He can't change anymore unless he does it under the green.
Glenn, there's a big puddle under the front of Craven's car. They were shooting water through the grill at the radiator, both to clean off the grill of rubber and perhaps also to cool it down.
Well, Mike, on a short track, they do that. They normally do that to cool the cars down and get them back to a good, safe place on the water temperature. Even whether it's running cool or not, you kind of spray the front and let it get a little cooler than it normally runs.
Report is Ricky Craven had a tire down. Let's see what happened up here.
Like Roy Payne just went around there. He was really, really lucky where he's sitting there. Somebody didn't run into him.
I don't believe he and Larry Pearson made contact.
Nope.
Just around. Ooh, Hermie scoots by on the outside just barely. They ran 10 Winston Cup races here from 1960 to 1971. Richard Petty won half of them. Junior Johnson won here twice. Bobby Isaac and Rex White picked up victories, and Benny Parsons picked up his first career win right here in Winston Cup racing.
I'm real happy to hear that Benny went through surgery very well. He's one of our friends, and nice to hear you made it, old pal. I hope you're listening.
This is the 29th Busch Series race at this track. First 23 were 200 lappers. This is the 6th at the 300 lap distance. One to go when they come back, and it'll be Kenny Wallace, David Green in second. Dirk Stevens will move up to fourth behind Johnny Rumley. Here's Glenn.
Well, Mike, we're going to ask John Monson, Ricky Craven's crew chief. You had to show your hand a little early there. I wondered why, but I saw you had a tire down.
Yeah, it looks like it's been going down for a little while. He suspected that he had a problem a little earlier, and we just got lucky that it went down under caution.
How big a disadvantage is that going to be to have to change the tires that early, John?
I don't think it's going to be that much. It's so hard to pass that there might be a benefit with the track position the way it is.
Okay, we'll keep an eye and see what happens from that move Ricky Craven had to make.
John was watching that car with a bit of concern as Ricky will restart at the back along with Dennis Setzer, Hermie Sadler, and Chad Little. Kenny Wallace the leader, David Green in second, Johnny Rumley's third. Dirk Stevens having a great run here. That number 15 is fourth. Tommy Ellis up to fifth. Mike McLaughlin in sixth. Larry Pearson seventh. Tommy Houston eighth. Dave Rezendi ninth.
I don't know about that, folks. Johnny Benson looked like he started when he got ready to. We'll wait and see what happens here. Uh-oh. I see an ugly flag coming out here.
Reaching for the black flag. Oh, tough break for Benson. He tried everything he could to get by Kenny Wallace, and that time just pulled the trigger a little too early. And it'll cost him a stop and go. The crew, Benson's crew, kind of shaking their heads in disbelief. But he'll have to pit.
And the bad part of that black flag, you have 4 laps to pull in, or they take up your scoring card and you just run for nothing the rest of the day.
Robert Presley upside of Benson. Hey, he's a good race driver, and he is going to win some races on this circuit.
No doubt about that. He's one of ASA's best, and it's not long away before he starts winning on a regular basis on the Busch Grand National circuit.
He's got a good, strong team. He didn't catch a break that time, but still, it's a long race. 110 laps complete, 190 to go.
I wonder if Kenny's saying that, here I come on turn 2. He does that, folks. When we're doing broadcasting now, also on our break, he starts doing his racing call.
Too wide. Randy LaJoie is a lap down. So is Randy Porter, the 35. Tommy Houston trying to get past. New Red Devil enamel, number 6. Johnny Rumley in the 41. Best run he's had since Hickory last year when he won.
Talking about Tommy Houston, it's good to see him back on the circuit with a good sponsor and everything. He's moving right on up to the front.
Watch Ricky Craven. He's really going to have to work carefully through traffic in that number 2 car, right behind Bobby Daughter 08. And here comes Chad Little underneath the yellow line to pass Dennis Setzer. How about that?
Well, I don't see a whole lot of difference in the amount of banking on the very bottom of the racetrack, so if you get caught in a bind there, you could run around under the yellow line.
He just did. They're working past Jim Bound. In the Lux Smooth, number 63. The Hensley Racing entry. And that's going to keep Donner back. He's kind of pinned in there behind Bound's car.
That's Nathan Bucky, the second car there. He's filling in for Mike Wallace this weekend. Mike's running up in Pocono. Bucky does a very good job in that race car.
You never know. He was 18 or 19 years old behind that wheel, would you? Now Craven clears Dave Rezendi. Now he's got a little bit of clear racetrack. Trouble at 1.
Randy LaJoie.
Yeah, he and Tommy Houston had been side by side and real close together, and they may have gotten together.
These Dennis Setzer go down in the grass there to pass those 2 cars.
I think Tommy was getting a little impatient with Randy. Randy is a lap down, and Houston was trying to get back up with the leaders. Now there's Randy LaJoie. LaJoie passed the pace car there because he is in front of the leader, so the pace car was waiting to pick up Kenny Wallace. Just a skid mark.
Kenny Wallace is coming down pit road right for his first pit stop, and David Green right behind him.
Monkey see, monkey do.
Or time to make the pit stop.
The Bobby Labonte owned Slim Jim number 44 for Green. Bill Martozzi CIC Financial Ford for Wallace. Also in Jason Keller, Johnny Benson, Jim Bound, Larry Pearson, Tracy Leslie, Tommy Ellis, They had to re-jack up the right front on Ellis's car.
Ooh, they got to hurry,
center.
too. Pace car is coming around through turn 3 right now, and Ellis's jack went back down on him.
And he's going to make it out and stay on the lead lap. So we're under caution once again here at South Boston. This is the 8th one of the day. We'll be right back.
Today's exclusive coverage of the Ford Credit 300 on TNN is brought to you by AC Delco. It's like buying time.
Well, folks, we're about to have, we may have another pit stop here. Look at the left front on the pace car.
Mike, I have to say, that's the first time I've ever seen a pace car have a flat tire. This guy's driving around like, oh, there's nothing wrong. Dee-dee-dee-dee.
Well, but who's going to change it?
Wonder what his tire rule is.
Well, how many tires per caution can they get? I think the NASCAR official told Glenn they were going to give him a free one. They do have pace cars here from other tracks that they may send one out if need be. But we're going green this time, so the pace car may have a lot of chance and a lot of time to get that fixed. We're back under green. Elton Sawyer trying to get a lap back from Bobby Dotter, who did not stop under that caution. Mike McLaughlin is the race leader, but he is 5th in line. I believe Dotter is the last car on the lead lap. 34, McLaughlin, the Fiddle Faddle Hyde Tools entry.
See Ricky Craven there trying to get up under him going in for the lead there.
Yep, Ricky's ready to lead some here. And McLaughlin will stack up behind Randy Porter, and Craven, for the moment at least, will get the lead. There's your Stanley Mid-Race recap. 3 leaders, 2 lead changes, average speed 61 miles an hour. Brought to you by Stanley Works in New Britain, Connecticut, helping improve the value of your home.
Johnny Benson is finally probably going to get a lap back here. He's going by Ricky Craven now to get that lap back and get in the lead lap. He's in the tail end of the lead lap as far as I know.
Trouble is, buddy, didn't that stop-and-go penalty cost him a second lap? We'll have to double-check. The cars that made pit stops are pretty well deep in the field. And Ricky Craven, who last led at Watkins Glen this year, where he finished 4th, is now the front runner.
Yep, Kenny Wallace moving up on green there, going into turn 2. They're side by side. I know Chad Little says, I'd like to be anywhere but where I'm at right now. I'm really holding these guys up, but there's not a lot he can do. See Kenny Wallace fishtailing there on the bottom of the racetrack.
Now the Chad Little, that is for position. Chad is now the 2nd place car. Mike McLaughlin has faded back a bit behind Dirk Stevens.
Then he's saying there's no place that I'd rather be than right here.
That's right. Oh, here comes Kenny. He got a good bite off the bottom of turn 2. Stuffs it into 3 underneath Chad Little.
Man, that's a force move there. That's something to watch. Kenny Wallace is getting around this racetrack. You see a little damage on the right door there. He's had a little confrontation with a couple of cars.
So Kenny Wallace puts Chad Little back to 3rd, and here comes David Green trying to send the Harris Teeter car back to 4th place.
You look at these cars going around here right now. Most of them have a donut on the door or something like that. It's like old Martinsville when you start to leave. A guy say, my car looks a little bit better than yours does. See, Green got by there. He's been running a very conservative race. Ooh, Dennis Spencer.
Yeah, nothing conservative about that. See, it's Hermie Sadler battle. Sadler is on the lead lap as of our last rundown.
Oh, that car is a rocket ship. He's the only guy I can see here that can pass on the outside just at will.
We are past halfway here at South Boston, Virginia, the Ford Credit 300. David Green led the first 46 laps. Kenny Wallace led the lap 102, or led 102 laps, rather. Then Mike McLaughlin and Craven.
We have a fight right now for the lead. You see, Kenny Wallace has run down Ricky Craven.
There they are. And 4 cars ahead of them struggling to stay either on the lead lap, or keep from losing one.
Kenny Wallace has really had the dominant car the whole race today. Ricky Craven has stepped back and kept his car in good contention, though. You really don't know what Craven has until it gets right down to the last few laps, because he's the type of driver that runs for points and for wins.
It's hard to do both, but he does it.
Yes, he does. That car does not have a mark on it at this moment.
Craven up against Bobby Donner. They brush a bit. Now, I'm sure Craven didn't want to move up there, but isn't that, Buddy, a kind of deal where 8 wheels corner better than 4?
Yeah, once you break the wheels loose in the center part of the corner, if you got somebody out there, if you just lean on them a little bit, it don't hurt drive the car.
Tommy Houston makes a pit stop. We asked Ricky Craven, what's the key to being a really good short track racer?
You know, it's really hard to say. It's instinctive now, and you depend on instincts, and you're doing things that you're not really.
Elton Sawyer has spun coming out of turn 2, and that will bring out the caution. A crash between Mike McLaughlin, Jason Keller, and Tommy Ellis between turns 1 and 2. No real damage, it appears. And they'll stay out ahead of the leader and on the lead lap. Sawyer gets away. Been a tough day for Elton Sawyer.
Well, I'll tell you, he's spun several times right now.
Here's what happened. There are the leaders.
Looks like he might have had just a little help there. Is that what we call casual contact?
I wish we had that from his under the bumper cam. Wow.
That is a bad feeling when you're sitting there watching people come out of the corner full bore right at you.
Yeah, and you're watching them out your windshield instead of in your mirror. Folks, we'll come back to sort out the running order at 172 laps when we come back after this. Folks, we want to show you why Paul Boykin and Doug Parr and the folks at Boykin Associates put cameras under the rear bumper of these race cars. That's why.
Ooh, did you hear that when he got that little tap? Womp, womp, womp.
Yep. Yep, Mr. Presley, the evidence is in.
Oh, by the way, good luck to you tomorrow at Watkins Glen.
Yeah, it's the 30-something annual Glen Nationals for SCCA Cars Pro Spec Racer event. I'll go up and take my provisional spot in the TNN Spec Racer and have some fun. Thanks. That's a great place to race. We tested there yesterday, and it'll be a lot of fun. If you're up around Watkins Glen, come up and see us. Say hi. See a good show of SCCA racing. We're back to green at lap 176.
Ricky Craven got a great start there. He knows he better get going. He's got some real race cars right behind him right now.
And this, I think, buddy, this is where you were talking about running for points and running to win. When he was running in the pack, he was being real conservative, but now he's out front.
Oh, we did have, during the break there, we found out Johnny Benson is back in the lead lap now, so he's back in the fight.
Tommy Houston spins at turn 4, but we are going to stay green. Tim Feedaway, you see, is back in the race in the Luxair Ford. Had to stop to miss Tommy Houston. Johnny Benson back on the lead lap. Like you say, you never keep trying.
Well, you see Hermie Sadler there sitting in 4th place right now. That race car is really, really fast, and I think he has a groove that most of them can't run. So when he gets up there, he should be able to go right to the lead.
Sadler's probably the one car that keeps working a little higher to clean off that groove more than anybody else. Working up the racetrack.
Oh, Tommy Houston's right up against the wall in turn 4.
Now, apparently when he spun it a couple of laps ago, something happened.
Yeah, he's falling back really fast. You see Kenny Wallace moving right up on Ricky Craven going in turn 3.
And Larry Pearson in the pits. The hood goes up again. On the Stanley Tools car. No,
that's not a good sign. They're not working that hard on it.
At the front, Ricky Craven with 2 victories has the lead. Kenny Wallace, who has not won this year, wants it.
That's going to be exciting when Ricky Craven...
Trouble turn 1. Johnny Rumley in the wall. But he just went into the turn too high, got up in the loose stuff, got up in the fence, and we stay green.
Wait a minute, I didn't get my shirt tail back in. I fell off my stool up here when he hit the wall. Yeah, he's got a lot. Johnny Rumley has a lot of damage to the right side of that car. Looks like the toe end's knocked completely out from under the car. He's staggering in the back straightaway pit.
And the leaders got together a little bit there as Rumley got up to the fence. They keep working that groove higher, up into the more banked portion of the racetrack. And a good indicator of that is look at the dashed lines down here in turn 1 and 2. The bottom line's obliterated, and they're just beginning to touch that second dashed white line. Now up here in turns 3 and 4, they're already wearing on that second set of lines pretty good. 186 laps complete. We'll be right back.
Today's exclusive coverage of the Ford Credit 300 on TNN is brought to you by Napa. We keep America running.
Up front, the battle continues on. Ricky Craven and Kenny Wallace. But a few laps ago, here's what happened.
Wow, he gets in the back of Craven just a little bit here. He accelerates a little bit. You see Craven back end of his car jump up, but he's back on it. No harm done. That's when you get back on the throttle and one car hooks up a little better than the other. Certainly didn't mean to run in the back of Craven.
There are your two leaders, tied closely together with 103 laps to go. Ricky Craven has been moving up in the field, and he and Dennis Setzer just got together a bit ago. They are both lead lap cars. Craven the leader, Wallace in second, David Green in third. Dennis Setzer there is fourth at the bottom of your screen. Challenge for the lead. Here comes Wallace.
Ooh, Ricky Craven gets a good run off the top line there off the corner. But I think Kenny Wallace is a little faster. He just can't get himself in position to make that move on Craven.
Looks like, Buddy, he could make the move going in, but he can't pull off the corner from the bottom.
Well, he'll just have to sit there and use a lot of patience and wait on Ricky Craven, maybe in traffic, to make a mistake.
Mentioned David Green is third, Dennis Setzer is fourth, Hermie Sadler. He is now the fifth place car. Sixth is Chad Little. Look at that. A Ford has never finished higher than ninth here. That was Joe Henry Thurman driving for the Thaxtons when Jarrett used to run for them. 1988, ninth place for Joe. The highest Ford finish here ever.
Boy, why is that? I don't understand that, because the Fords run well on this type of racetrack. I think Kenny Wallace is just fixing to make that an old thing to throw up on the record books anyhow.
But first he's got to finish. Chad Little's on the lead lap. He's sixth. Seventh now is Johnny Benson. Eighth is Dirk Stevens. Ninth is Jim Bound. 10th is Tracy Leslie. 11th, Jason Keller. 12th is Tommy Ellis. 13th, Dave Rezendes. And 14th, Nathan Butke. Those cars are on the lead lap with 100 to go. Rodney Combs behind Hermie Sadler. He and Randy LaJoie battling. As you watch from Randy's car.
That's a good shot right there. You notice the 20 car seems to be handling quite well, but Rodney Combs has been a fast race car today. He's been in bad situations a couple of times as far as position on the track, but he's running quite well.
As of our last complete rundown.
You see Dirk Stevens there. He got in trouble in turn 3. He's back underway now, though. No yellow. Oh, Kenny's going to make a move on the outside and take the lead.
A lot of smoke from Larry Pearson's car into turn 3. Kenny will get the lead. But a lot of traffic just ahead as Pearson has put a fender into the right front tire. That's all that smoke on your screen. And he'll have to pit. Lots of race traffic for the leaders to contend with here.
You know, you can see Kenny Wallace make that bed 3 or 4 times on the bottom of the racetrack, and finally he got tired of that, and he said, I'm going to try something else because that wasn't working. Now he's pulling away from Ricky Craven. He has clearly a faster car than Ricky right now.
Good point, Buddy. 207 laps complete, 93 to go as we continue under green here at South Boston Speedway. We'll be right back. This is what is left of Kenny Wallace's car. After a wreck 2 laps ago with Ricky Craven, it was the second brush they'd had in traffic. Kenny was battling side by side for the lead, got loose coming out of turn 4. They came down the front straightaway, and as they tried to enter one, the 2 cars crashed together. Wallace ending up in a heap in the right side in the first turn wall. Now, before that happened, There is Craven, whose car continues unscathed. They were coming up to lap Dirk Stevens. This is a bit ago.
You see Dirk's car is a little bit slower. Looked like Kenny got in almost in the back of 15, tried to turn under, and they made a little hit there.
Now, they made it through that one, but then watch this. Coming off turn 4, left side of your screen, right at the start-finish line.
Heavy damage on the right front corner of that car, and it is leaking some fluid. I've seen Kenny take his helmet off. They're looking at the race car. He's coming out right now as we speak.
There is the water coming out of Wallace's car as the damage back into the radiator. All the stop leak in the world is going on.
Man, that's terrible. He had a really fine race car for today. Certainly one that could have won the race, but they got together on the front straightaway, and it just turned Wallace right into the outside wall.
We're going to come back and talk to Kenny, hopefully, when we come back to South Boston Speedway, as dejectedly he sits in the team transporter. Welcome back to South Boston. Let's show you again what happened between the two leaders. Now, Wallace is on the inside as they exit 4.
Well, Mike, it looks like Wallace comes out really hard there and gets over into Craven just a little bit. Craven pretty much held his line, but at that part of the racetrack where they actually made contact, Craven was trying to turn to get in the corner.
Here's Glenn.
Well, Kenny Wallace is sitting on the back of his transporter. Kenny, I was trying to think of things I was going to say to you in victory lane. I may have jinxed you. What happened from your point of view?
Well, it was, you know, you guys up there can tell you what happened. I got in low, and I slid up a little bit, got into Ricky, and I stood on the gas, and evidently he, you know, I got into him. You know, I didn't have him cleared.
Too bad. He had an awfully strong car, but he'll be back again next week.
Boy, oh boy. That says it all. You can see the dejection in his face.
Yeah, the car got real loose on him in the bottom of the corner just before where our replay picked it up. We are back to green. And Ricky Craven is in front of the field, but he has one of the toughest short-track drivers in the nation right behind him in Dennis Setzer. That was Randy LaJoie's car looking back at David Green in 3rd place.
Wowee.
Craven, Setzer, Green, along with Hermie Sadler, Chad Little, Johnny Benson, Jim Bound, Tommy Ellis, Jason Keller, Tracy Leslie, Nathan Butke, and the 79 Dave Resendiz are all on the lead lap.
Yellow flag is back out. We have a spin on the back straightaway at Dirk Stevens again.
Stevens, 1 lap down. Let's show you what happened here.
I see Dirk going around, and I think what happened, he's probably come off the corner really hard there and got over near the outside wall and probably jerked the steering wheel just a little bit. And at that place on the racetrack, the car is real light, and it just turned around on him on the back straightaway.
We are corrected as to the highest finishing Ford at this racetrack, going through the record books here. They indicate on August 18, 1984, the Thaxton Brothers Ford finished in 7th position, and the driver was Glenn Jarrett. Highest finishing Ford here.
Yay, Glenn!
Mike McLaughlin's car, you see the hood is kind of bent up on his machine. Here's what happened to McLaughlin. Well, it was already bent up. He gets a little loose and squirrely there.
It's like Elton got in the back of him. He just got in the back of Benson just a little bit there.
No harm done. No more than previously. And we're going to go green this time as you're with Randy LaJoie. And there's a look from Elton Sawyer's car over at Chad Little, who is on the lead lap. 223 laps down. We're back to green. And LaJoie is going to try to get his lap back from Craven, and does so.
Yeah, he got a good jump there. Robert Presley, he's several laps back. He's ahead of Craven right at the moment.
That'll put Presley just 1 lap down.
See Dennis Setzer there.
Oh, yeah.
He runs super well here at Rougemont. We thought maybe he'd won the race until we had a replay. He's a very good race car driver on this type of racetrack, so don't count him out, folks.
Tommy Ellis, who was on the lead lap, has just pulled his car behind the wall. Tough break for former national champion. From Randy LaJoie, that's Robert Presley's car. Now they are just in front of the leader, who may be passed right here. Here comes Setzer in the 59. Well, he's having the same trouble getting by Craven that Kenny Wallace did.
Well, Craven's using the racetrack up, but he's doing it in a very, very safe way. He's just using the preferred line around this racetrack. He's using it all, or he goes in low, sweeps out wide in the center of the corner, and then pulls back down coming off the corner.
Just ahead of them, Randy LaJoie on the tail end of the lead lap. And Robert Presley has cleared LaJoie. That's looking back at the leader from LaJoie's car. But Setzer is working hard on Ricky Craven.
See, Randy LaJoie's car is still running quite well off the corner, but Ricky Craven's car is dynamite in the center part of the corner.
So is Setzer. The Alliance tractor trailing center.
Here goes Setzer. He watched a while ago when Wallace was able to make that pass on the outside. Here he goes, just duplicating that move.
The low lane wouldn't do it. Maybe the top lane will. Craven gives him plenty of room. New leader, Dennis Setzer.
Now that takes the starch out of your uniform when a guy gets you that way. On the outside, you start pulling away.
Third race that Setzer has led this year. He led at Rockingham and Milwaukee.
Dennis Setzer feels pretty good about this race car. Several times it looked like he might have been out of the race. He had a real hard hit to the right front there. You see the fender and all. Here comes Hermie Sadler up under green.
This will be for third place.
No, he's got to worry about Elton Sawyer. Elton Sawyer's trying to race right at the moment.
And right with them, Mike McLaughlin, who's now one lap down. And 74 Benson hits McLaughlin, who goes around.
No yellow.
No, we're still green. Mike McLaughlin needs one of those hide scrapers to get that car off the wall, and he's back at it.
Dennis Setzer's got his windshield full of Randy LaJoie. He's trying to put him away so he can get out there and race in a little clean air without having to worry about maybe running in the back of a car.
He'll have to go to the bottom to get LaJoie. But he is opening up daylight on Ricky Craven. LaJoie gives him lots of room, but then comes down off the top lane to run side by side down the backstretch. LaJoie trying hard to stay on the lead lap, and he'll surrender it this time.
See Elton Sawyer getting under green, getting in the corner here. Elton's had his day today. He's been in several times with tires. They were messing around with the air pressure and was rolling the inside wall of the tire down. See Hermie Sadler there.
And from Elton Sawyer, you're looking back at Hermie Sadler. Randy LaJoie has just, something's happened to that car. Big cloud of smoke, and he's very slow in turn two. Not again. He's going to make it around to the pit. And Craven's off the pace. Hermie Sadler just blasted by Ricky Craven. He's way off the pace.
Craven's car looks like it might have a valve or something in the motor messed up.
The right front tire's down on Randy LaJoie.
Here comes Craven down pit road, so
let's check with Glenn Jarrett as Craven comes in.
Well, Mike, one of the crew members told me that the car is running hot. You can see the nose work, grill work is caved in on the car and it caused the engine to overheat. I think that's one of the reasons that Dennis Setzer was able to get by him so easily. They're ripping all the stuff away from it now. I can't believe they're not going to put some water on it to try to cool it off. It's definitely running hot.
Don Munson pulling the grill work away. The rubber had piled up there on Craven's car. Now they're pressure filling water into the engine rather than hosing down the radiator. He's going to try to get Craven back out, but he is losing laps. We asked Dennis Setzer what kind of race he's expecting today and what he will do to take care of his race car.
Be a lot of fender rubbing and stuff, you know, try to do the least amount of that as possible. I don't know, look after your tires in this deal. It's going to be a tire war, same as Myrtle Beach, all the short tracks like the Milwaukee's and stuff. You know, it'll be a tire war till the day's over, I'm sure.
Robbie Reiser in a big cloud of smoke will bring out the caution. Oh, it's about time we had one to sort things out here.
Wasn't any question about whether that was motor trouble or not. Robbie Reiser come by and the smoke just bellowed out of the bottom of that race car.
But he had a good run going. He was just 2 laps down at this stage. On the lead lap. Here at lap 275, we'll give you a rundown when we come back. Ricky Craven will pit again as we're under caution for the 12th time. Luxury transportation and thankful air conditioning provided by Cedar Ridge RV Center, Branchville, New Jersey. Call 1-800-988-4884 and find out why Cedar Ridge is the choice of champions. 249 laps complete here. Ricky Craven continues to make pit stops under this caution to cure this overheating problem. Let's go to a almost overheated and certainly rather warm Glenn Jarrett.
Well, Mike, the first time Ricky came in, when he went back out, the filler cap came off the thing, so they brought him back in, put some more water in it. They seem to have it cooled down now. For some reason, their pressure filler tank wasn't working. I don't know if they didn't have it hooked up. I can't imagine that, but they had a problem with it. I thought they would have been spraying the nose of the car, too, but they seem to have him cooled down a little bit now, but maybe a little too late. Tell you, that 59 car is looking awfully strong.
I think you're right, Glenn. Dennis Setzer leads this race over David Green, Hermie Sadler, Johnny Benson. After being a lap down, there's John Munson, Ricky Craven's crew chief. Johnny Benson is up to 4th place after getting lapped earlier. Chad Little is 5th. And in a couple of weeks, we'll be up to a track much like this one, Hickory Motor Speedway. For the Pantry 500, it'll be live here on TNN Sunday, July 31st, 1 p.m. Eastern Time. Piling up points, Kenny Wallace goes back out.
Boy, he don't want to touch anybody now. He don't have anything to hit with. That's the radiator you see there with the straps on the nose of the car.
And we are back to green. Rodney Combs wants his lap back from Dennis Setzer, and he's got the high groove to try and get it. Combs is 2 laps down. Now 1 lap down. Power move.
Impressive run, yeah. He's running quite well. You see Green has moved right in on the back bumper of Dennis Setzer. There he comes. Hermie Sadler right up underneath Green, going down the back straightaway, trying to get a fender up under him, getting in turn 3. I don't think there is such a thing as an easy race in Busch Grand National. It comes on down to the last 50, 60 laps in a race, boy, everybody starts running super good.
And we have 50 to go. They are black flagging Kenny Wallace as he came back on the track getting ready for the restart. He came up and gave a body slam to Ricky Craven. Not a hard one, but the NASCAR officials saw it, and they're going to park Kenny for a little while.
Hermie Sadler got in just a little bit in the green there and turned him sideways getting in turn 1. He was very lucky to get that car back straight without spinning both cars. Oh, we have a wreck in turn 4.
Dave Resendiz, Mike McLaughlin, Nathan Bucky, and Larry Pearson will bring out the caution. Caution number 13. McLaughlin, the last car to get away from that one. And Randy Porter's car won't fire down on pit road. Comes to a halt.
One thing about it, our reporter's right there with him.
Yeah, he was almost right in front of the car when it came to rest. Right there. And Kenny Wallace is sitting out a penalty on pit road for that brush with Ricky Craven. There's Kenny and the NASCAR official. And they've got to push Randy Porter's car back to work on it. Randy Porter's car won't go in gear. Ricky Craven back in, hood back up. Here's Glenn.
Well, he's coming in for some more water, Mike, and I'm going to step over here a little closer to see if they'll spray some on me. It's real hot down here around all these hot race cars. The car seems to be a little cooler. A while ago when he came in, a lot of steam was coming out underneath, but now it seems to be cooled down a little bit. They're just doing a little extra to it.
Green in one lap here in South Boston. No, they're going to hang the caution flag back out. 258 laps complete, 42 to go. And Randy LaJoie, you rode with him a bit. Starter conferring with the NASCAR officials in the tower. We'll have to get the lineup set here. Let's show you turn 4 here. This 4-car mix-up. Pearson, Resendiz, McLaughlin were in it, so was Nathan Butke.
There was a bunch of cars that really just kind of threaded the needle through there.
Yeah, the lane got real narrow there. We're staying under yellow. Let's try to get the field relined single file. And, oh, Ricky Craven did not beat the pace car that time. So we'll take another lap and work on it as he loses another one. The water temperature gauge on Craven's car reads 255. It's about as hot as it is in the grandstand today.
Well, about 225 it starts leaking fluids out of the radiator, so at 250 he's leaving water around the racetrack. You have to cool this thing down.
Guys, I got to think that like Buddy says, he's losing fluid too, because they have put enough water in that thing to cool it down somewhat. I think he's done some more serious damage to the engine by now, but they're just hoping to keep him running. The way things are shaping up right now, David Green's running a good, strong second. He is going to take the point lead from Craven.
Thanks, Glenn. We stay under caution with 40 laps to go. We'll be right back to South Boston, Virginia on TNN. We're back under green. Dennis Setzer out in front. Hermie Sadler challenging David Green for second. They lock bumpers momentarily. Boy, trouble. Turn 2. Roy Payne spins around.
No caution.
Nope, he gets going again. And Setzer looks in his mirror as Green and Sadler got together again.
Sadler's really making a move here. He got right under Green. They touched just momentarily. Look at Johnny Benson coming up here to try to get in the 3rd spot.
I think, Buddy, any one of these 4 cars could win this race.
Well, Johnny Benson was a lap down. He made up his lap, and now he's all the way back up to 4th and moving on Green there, trying to get in the 3rd spot.
Well, Benson gets the Attaboy Award for the day, as far as I'm concerned.
He might even get it for the week, the way he's driving that car. He's really going.
I'll show you what happened here.
Okay, Hermie just got in there a little hot, got up in the green just a little bit.
Green loses momentum, and Elton gets into him. And there goes Benson. Well,
Benson's up under Green now. Looks like he may be able to pull this deal off, but off the corner, you can see that Green's car has really got a lot of straightaway speed.
Hermie Sadler trying to get under Rodney Combs, who is 2 laps down. Clears Combs to the delight of this partisan Virginia crowd. And Benson continues to work on David Green.
Green's car is starting to push up in the corner, getting off. I wouldn't be surprised to see Benson make that move off turn 4, because he cannot keep that car down. Green can't.
30 laps to go. Dennis Setzer leads it. Hermie Sadler now 2nd. David Green 3rd. Johnny Benson 4th. Chad Little is 5th. 6th, and another attaboy, Robert Presley. Close. Now he's got a little room on the bottom.
I think he'll make it. He'll at least get side by side with him up off this corner. Green's car is starting to push off the corner. You see Benson making a move on the inside there, and he just takes the position away from Green.
And Glenn reports possibly a tire going down on David Green's car, the right front. They're not going to change it unless they absolutely have to. Can't give up that track position now.
Oh, boy. That's terrible to have a tire going flat at this area in the race.
Robert Presley was side by side with Chad Little in the Harris Teeter Ford. That was for 5th place just moments ago. But Presley couldn't hold the bottom groove. See if he tries it again here. Well, it's our dueling camera cars. Sawyer and LaJoie.
See LaJoie there, trying to get that inside line on Presley coming up off the corner. There's not much straightaway here. You're in turn most of the way around. The straightaways are about 30 foot long.
Ricky Craven back on pit road. 25 to go. 7th is Tracy Leslie. 8th, Jason Keller. 9th is Jim Bound. 10th is Nathan Butke. Great drive for him today. And 11th, Dave Resendiz. They are on the lead lap. 1 lap down. Bobby Dollar, Mike McLaughlin. The 15 of Dirk Stevens. 2 laps down. Rodney Combs and Johnny Rumley. 3 laps down. Randy LaJoy and Elton Sawyer. 4 laps back is Randy Porter. That's your top 20. Two laps to go. Little smoke from Jason Keller's car, and we'll be right back to South Boston. Dennis Setzer has a 2.5-second lead, but they are really fighting for positions back here at 5th place. 23 is Chad Little, 99 Robert Presley, and they are battling for 5th. Bracketing them 3 laps down, fighting for 18th are LaJoy and Sawyer. Watching back from Randy LaJoy's car, there's the battle for 5th. And Ricky Craven has parked his car. End of the day for the point leader. Here's the fight for 5th. Presley gets up and underneath, and they get together. Chad Little up high, Presley on the bottom, fighting. No momentum there.
The old Sawyer on the bottom there. He's going to make this a 3-way fight. Here's David Green back up front.
Sawyer is 3 laps down. And Presley tries to gird up for another run at Chad Little's 5th place position. Jim Bound has dropped off the pace and gone a lap down to the leader. This 5th place race is going to be a fight to the finish.
There's that. We're getting a lot of it. It's good racing.
Back at 7th place, Tracy Leslie and Nathan Butke go at it as well.
Knows what give up means. He's raced hard all day. He's just had a lot of bad luck. He's been around a couple of times, been in several fender benders with other people, but he's still getting as hard as he can go.
Well, he's now caught Chad Little again. Roughs him up just a bit there. Just a bit. Boy, this is good as short track racing as you'll see any place. 5th place, right here. Well, Presley looked on the high side that time. Tries to go low.
A lot of contact there coming out turn 2.
Now he's got the bottom. Watch that Ford run up off the corner. Ooh, close. Closer than close.
The old Sawyer, he said, let me get up in here. That looks like fun. But
this is getting rough. And here comes Larry Pearson. He is not on the lead lap at 92. And Presley's going to have to try and close it up. Again.
It looks to me like Hermie Sadler might be closing in on our leader here. Dennis Setzer's dropping back just a little bit. This is great racing right here, but I'm just telling you what's happening up front, folks.
Into the countdown laps. This 5th place race is a great one. Good thing both those cars are black, because they have traded a lot of paint. It just doesn't show. Now, Setzer opens it up a little bit again. 5 laps to go. Let's show you the interval 1st to 2nd. Remember the heartbreaker Setzer lost at Rougemont on the last lap to this man, Hermie Sadler, this year. 4 to go.
Well, it's getting down to it. Hermie's giving it all it's got, but he's really going to have to go. Dennis Setzer's handling very well. Now back to the 5th place run.
Presley can't get to the outside on Chad Little. Little will not give him the outside. That's the fast lane. Presley can get just up to the quarter panel and no further.
Mike, I would say with a couple of laps to go, this is going to get a little rougher.
2 to go. white flag next time. Elton Sawyer's car very slow down the front stretch. White flag is out for Setzer and Sadler, and Johnny Benson, and David Green. And in 5th place, they're a car length apart. Checkered flag. Dennis Setzer wins his first ever Busch Series race. For 5th place. Whoa! Presley gets into Chad Little, and Little will hold him off. Huh.
Oh, look at Little locked the brakes up there.
Well, the checkered flag and the tempers fly. What a battle. And for the first time in his young Busch Series career, Dennis Setzer will go to victory lane. He spins it around in a 360. And we'll be back to meet with a happy first-time winner on TNN when we come back. For more information on Featherlight trailers, call toll-free 1-800-800-1230. Featherlight, the official trailer of NASCAR. Here's our TNN merchandise trailer. That's a Featherlight as well. Dan Welch, Ricky Pearson, the Alliance Tractor Trailer Training Center crew in victory lane with a very happy Dennis Setzer and family, and Glenn Jarrett.
Well, Mike, Dennis Setzer and family are happy, except Brandon, his 9-month-old son. He doesn't know what to think about all this, but Dennis Setzer does.
He'll be happy one day. Hey, thanks. This crew, Alliance Tractor Trailer Training Center's crew, these guys worked hard all day. Caught a good shot in the pits. Got us some tires early. I don't know what to say. Ain't no way to thank them enough.
We had some early scuffles, Dennis, but you told me before the race that the thing was to keep cool, keep the car under you. The last half of the race, it looks like that's what you did.
Yeah, it sure was. You know, these guys, they work good over the radio. We had a new, Terry Shook spotted for me today right there. He done a great job. Our owners, the Welches, are in Nebraska, so hello, Nebraska. This is for you. And also, who loves South Boston more than I do today?
Well, Dennis, I want to ask you now, you knew you were coming into a good car. You knew you were a rookie. You had a lot to learn, but did you think you could win in the first year?
Well, I told him I could, so I sure hoped I could.
Well, it helped him get that job, and by gosh, he proved himself right. Congratulations, Dennis.
Thank you very much. Like I say, Ricky Pearson and this great crew, man, they're a bunch of tough people. Thank you.
Dennis Setzer's pretty tough, too.
Yes, he is. Comes out of Hickory, North Carolina. It's a tough little racetrack. Ran the sportsman division at Charlotte. Had some great success there in the Paramount Ford. Now comes to the Busch Series, replaced Robert Presley right at the end of last season. Had a tough debut. Didn't make the field at Rockingham in October. But then came on to run well here in his rookie season and score that first big win today.
Mike, photo finish at Rougemont, first here. This guy's tough.
Oh, you bet. And the man who beat him at Rougemont finishes second here, Hermie Sadler. Johnny Benson came from a lap down to finish third. Attaboy. David Green was fourth. Chad Little fifth. Robert Presley came from a lap down to sixth. Tracy Leslie. Nathan Butke, 19 years old, eighth place today. Good run. Jim Bound and Dave Rezendes rounded out the top 10. Bobby Dotter, Dirk Stevens, and Jason Keller behind them. Well, the man who was the point leader ended up out of this race, overheated. Ricky Craven. Here's Glenn.
Well, Mike, I'm trying to get to Ricky, stumbling over some of his equipment here. Ricky, tough into a tough day. Things got hot out there.
Yeah, you know, this is typical short track racing. I knew at the beginning of the day there was no low side groove here, and it's just too bad. These guys worked so hard on this DuPont Chevrolet and didn't get to victory lane, but we're going to get there in Talladega if we can.
We had an awfully strong car. I know things got a little hot between you and Kenny Wallace there. I know that probably some tempers were exchanged, but is everything okay now?
Well, you know, we started racing together. We're going to be racing together a long time, and it just, we'll deal with it. Kenny and I will deal with it. I'm just waiting, and, you know, we're grown men. This thing, we're going to go on to Talladega. We're going to race each other just as hard, and hopefully that situation won't happen. But we got 11 more races, and just typical short track racing, you know, where the lap cars created a situation that was tough for both he and I, and some of the guys behind us. And I think that you probably saw most of that all day long.
Well, appreciate the thoughts, Ricky. Better luck next week at Talladega. Let's go back to Mike.
AC Delco, with parts to fit almost any car and truck. Make your car last. AC Delco, it's like buying time. Presents the Busch Series point standings. David Green takes the point lead. Ricky Craven will be second. Hermie Sadler, Bobby Dotter, Kenny Wallace falls to fifth. Next Saturday, we're going to the fastest speedway on earth, Talladega, Alabama. They're at the Fry Pan of America. It can be hotter than it is right here, but it's not the heat, it's the humidity, of course. There won't be much when we run the Fram Filters 500K, 2 p.m. next Saturday. Buddy, a wild show today, but a great one.
Oh, typical Busch Grand National race. Always exciting, fun to watch. I enjoyed it very much.
And good to see a first-time winner, Dennis Setzer, goes to victory lane. Next Saturday, we'll be at Talladega. Hope you'll join us then here on the network that brings you more Busch Grand National racing than all other television networks combined, the Nashville Network. For Glenn Jarrett, for Buddy Baker, for all the folks down in our cool air-conditioned truck, this is Mike Joy congratulating Dennis Setzer on his victory here at South Boston, Virginia. So long, everybody.